What's going on, guys? As you can see, I've had a little bit of a rough week, so I'm gonna get right into it and let you guys know what happened, and then I'm gonna give you a few preventative tips to make sure that it doesn't happen to you. So this past weekend, I was in a slow pitch tournament with my wife and a few of our friends, and the field we were playing on was in the worst condition. The infield was pretty brutal, actually. It was very dangerous, obviously. It had never been dragged. It wasn't raked in between games. It was just very poorly maintained. But that's pretty common with a lot of these small town slow pitch tournaments, and it's kind of the risk that you take when you play in them, which is something that I'm hoping that you guys don't really have to worry about, because I know a lot of the youth organizations do a pretty good job of protecting their players by taking care of the field. So anyways, I was playing shortstop and the guy hit a laser and it just took a nasty hop and came up and cracked me in the side of the head. It happened so fast, but luckily I was able to turn my head just enough that it hit me in the side of the eye and not square on, because it could have been a lot worse. So it cracked me, I dropped, I only cried for a few minutes, but then when I got up to my knees, my vision was super blurry and I could see double vision. My wife, who's a nurse, immediately suggested that we go into the emergency room to get it x-rayed because she suspected a fracture. So long story short, I went in the emergency room and we got x-rayed, we got CT scanned, and then the doctor came in and said that I had to be rushed back to Prince George for urgent surgery to repair 2 fractures of my orbital bone over here and then 1 underneath here. We were playing about an hour and a half out of my hometown, so I had to be ambulanced back home to get surgery there. So we ambulanced home, checked in the hospital there, and then at about 9 o'clock at night, which was about 10 hours after the initial injury, I went in for surgery. So they put a plate here to fix 2 fractures over here, and then they put a plate underneath my eye to fix the 1 fracture here. And the doctor also said that one of the fractures of the bone was pushing on a muscle, which was putting pressure on my eyeball, which was causing the blurry vision and the double vision. So that was Saturday. I'm recording this on Wednesday, and then I have a follow-up with the surgeon on Friday. He didn't mention any permanent damage, but we'll get a better idea when I talk to him on Friday. So bad hops happen, guys. It's just something that happens, and with this particular play, there's nothing really different that I could have done. My wife disagrees and says she could have made the play and this would have never happened to her, but bad hops are part of the game, but there's a few things that you can do to help prevent it so you don't end up looking like me. Now, tip number 1 is something that we always talk about when fielding a ground ball, and that's try to pick up the ground ball on the shortest hop possible. Now, we do this by reading the hops, moving our feet, and then getting into a position to pick up the ball on the short hop or the high hop. Now, obviously every ground ball is different, but the more we move our feet and get ourselves in a better position, the less chance we'll have of having those bad hops or those in-between hops. And the second tip is something that we always talk about in our infield videos as well, is we always want to make sure that the spare hand is right above the glove like that to try to protect us from any bad hops. Now, third tip is you always want to make sure that your position and your area is nice and flat and free of any holes or any rocks. So in between each pitch, just kind of rake the ground with your feet, kick out any rocks, fill out any holes, do the best you can to try to make it as flat as possible. Because throughout the game, your area is going to get roughed up by balls and people running past, so you want to make sure that you keep it as clean as possible. Quick video today, I just want to give you guys a few quick tips to help prevent any bad hops so you guys don't end up looking like me. But like I said before, most youth organizations are pretty good at taking care of their field to protect the players and make sure that things like this don't happen. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week.